we're reading the Mayan Popol Vuh, an ancient text of the Mayan civilization. It's very cool. Okay. First they entered dark house, and after that the messenger of one death brought their torch, burning when it arrived, along with one cigar apiece. There's cigars in the underworld. Here is their torch, says the Lord. They must return the torch in the morning, along with the cigars. They must return them intact, say the lords. The messenger said when he arrived. Very well, they said, but they didn't burn the torch. Instead, something that looked like fire was substituted. This was the tail of the macaw, which looked like a torch to the sentries. Maybe it looked like a torch because the feathers were red and yellow. The macaw is like that big parrot. And as for the cigars, they just put fireflies at the tip of those cigars, which they kept lit all night. We've defeated them, said the sentries, but the torch was not consumed. It just looked that way. And as for the cigars, there wasn't anything burning there. It just looked that way. When these things were taken back to the lords. What's happening? Where did they come from? Who begot them and bore them? Our hearts are really hurting, because what they are doing to us is no good. They are different in looks and different in their very being, they said amongst themselves. And when they had summoned all the lords, let's play ball, boys, the boys were told, and then they were asked by 1 and 7 deaths, where might you have come from? Please name it. Xibalba said to them, well, wherever did we come from? We don't know, was all they said. They didn't name it. I wonder why they didn't name it. Maybe if they name it, something will happen to the people or to them. Because remember remember when they sent the mosquito in previously to poke everybody so they could find out all the demons' names? There's probably something going on here. Very well then, we'll just go play ball, boys, Xibalba told them. Good, they said. Well, this is the one we should put in play. Here's our rubber ball, said the Xibalbans. No thanks, this is the one to put in. Here's ours, said the boys. No, it's not. This is the one we should put in, the Xibalbans said again. Very well, said the boys. After all, it's just a decorated one, said the Xibalbans. Oh, no, it's not. It's just a skull, we say in return, said the boys. No, it's not, said the Xibalbans. Very well, said Huanapu. When it was sent off by the Xibalba, the ball was stopped by Huanapu's yoke. And then while Xibalba watched, the white dagger came out from inside the ball. It went clattering, twisting all over the floor of the court. What's that? Said Huanapu and Cipalanque. Death is the only thing you want for us? Wasn't it you who sent a summons to us? And wasn't it your messenger who went? Truly take pity on us, or else we'll just leave, the boys told them. They got a point, right? It's like, hey, you invited us here, and now you want us to die? And this is what had ordained for the boys, that they should have died right away, right there, defeated by that knife. But it wasn't like that. Instead, Xibalba was again defeated by the boys. What's fascinating about this is that Xibalba is the underworld. However, if you notice, the underworld has its own beingness, yet people who live in it. That's weird. That's like philosophical if you think about it. Well, don't go, boys. We can still play ball. But we'll put yours into play, the boys were told. They're playing ball in the underworld, like a ball game. It's crazy. Very well, they said, and this was the time for their rubber ball, so the ball was dropped in. And after that they specified the prize. What should our prize be? Asked the Xibalbans. It's yours for the asking, was all the boys said. We'll just win 4 bowls of flowers, said the Xibalbans. Very well, what kind of flowers? The boys asked Xibalba. 1 bowl of red petals, 1 bowl of white petals, 1 bowl of yellow petals, and 1 bowl of whole ones, said the Xibalbans. Very well, said the boys, and then their ball was dropped in. The boys were their equals in strength and made many plays, since they only. Okay, look at the. That's the Mayan hieroglyph. That's what we just read is in that story. Isn't that crazy? They draw it so interesting. Okay, since they only had very good thoughts, then the boys gave themselves up in defeat, and the Shibalbans were glad when they were defeated. We've done well. We've beaten them on the first try, said the Shibalbans. Where will they go get the flowers? They said in their hearts. Truly, before the night is over, you must hand over our flowers and our prize. The boys, Juanapu and Zipalanque, were told by Xibalba. Very well, so we're also playing ball at night, they said when they accepted their charge. What are they doing? Playing, like, why do they want some flowers? Wow, look at this hieroglyph. Isn't that cool? It's so intense, so intense. And after that, the boys next entered Razor House, the second test of Xibalba. Wow, it's a house filled with razors, holy moly. And this is when it was ordained that they be cut clear through with knives. Oh, it'd be so painful if you had to pass through a room filled with knives that just sliced at your body. It was intended to be quick, intended that they should die. But they did not die. They spoke to the knives then. They instructed them. This is yours, the flesh of all the animals, they told the knives, and they no longer moved, rather each and every knife put down its point. They're talking to the knives in the underworld, and the knives had decided to turn away. Wow. And this is how they stayed there overnight, in Razor House. They fell asleep. They were going to stay overnight in Razor House in Xibalba family. It's crazy. Now they summoned all the ants. Cutting ants, conquering ants, come now. All of you fetch all of them for us. Flowers in bloom, prizes for lords. Sibalanque and Juanapu were in the underworld. They convinced the knives to turn away. They're in the Razor House. They make a chant that summons the ants, the insects, to gather the flowers that they're going to pay the Shibalbans with because they lost the first round of ball. Super clever. Very well, they replied. Then all the ants went to get the flowers, the plantings of 1 and 7 Death, who already given instructions to the guardians of the flowers of Xibalba. Would you please watch our flowers? Don't let them get stolen. We've defeated the boys, so won't they come looking for the prize they owe us? Don't sleep tonight. Very well, they replied, but the guardians of the plants never knew a thing. Their only inclination was to stretch their mouths wide open, going from one perch to another in the trees and plants, repeating the same song. Whip poor Will, whip poor Will. One of them says as he cries, Poor Willow, poor Willow. Says the other as he cries, the one named Poor Will. The two of them are the guards of the garden of 1 and 7 Death. There's a frickin' garden? But they don't notice the ants stealing what's under their guard. Swarming, carrying away loads of flowers. Coming to cut down the flowers in the trees, gathering these together with the flowers beneath the trees. Okay, wait a minute. The Shibalbans were literally just said, don't sleep tonight, remember? The boys are going to come and try to gather the flowers that they owe us. We're going to stay here and stay guard. Juanapu and Zibalanque are like so smart that they call in the bugs, the insects, the ants, to go into the garden and take away. If you've ever seen like how ants act, I remember I used to drop ice cream or an ice cream cone or a chocolate bar or some type of candy, a peppermint candy. You leave it there, and the ants, they come and they take it away. You know, that is essentially what they're doing here in this story. While the guards just stretch their mouths wide open, not noticing the nibbling at their own tails, the nibbling at their own wings. The severed flowers ran down into the gathering and bunching here below, so that 4 bowls of flowers are easily filled, an acrobatic performance that lasts till dawn. After that, the messengers and the pages arrive. They are to come, says the Lord. They must bring our prizes here right away, the boys were told. Very well, they said, having loaded up the flowers. 4 bowls of them. They left and came before the Lord, or lords, who received the flowers with painted looks. No, with pained looks. With this, the Shibulbans were defeated. The boys had sent mere ants. In just one night, the ants had taken the flowers and put them in the bowls. With this, all the Shibulbans looked sick. They paled at the sight of the flowers. After that, they summoned the flower guards. There's flower guards. How did you allow our flowers to get stolen? These are our flowers. Here, look, the guards were told. We took no notice, your lordship, though our tails are the worse for it, they said. And then their mouths were split wide, their payment for the theft, what was under their guard. Their mouths were split wide. I think that means this, like they cut the cheeks so that the mouth is more open. Oh, that'd be scary. That'd be so painful. And remember that our tails are the worst for it? Remember, because the ants were nibbling at their tails, so they're like, ah. Wow, that's so. I like that imagery though. Their mouths were split wide. Such was the defeat of 1 and 7 death by Huanapu and Zipalanque, on account of which the whippoorwills got gaping mouths. Their mouths gape to this day. And after that, when the ball was dropped in, they just sat, played to a tie. When they finished the game, they made an arrangement with each other. At dawn again, said Xibalba. Very well, said the boys. Then they were finished. What is going on? That is clever. I mean, that's cool that they got some help from the insect world. Because if you think about it, many people might, call in an eagle, call in a, giant wolf, call in some magnificent creature spirit to help us in Xibalba. But no, this time it was just little tiny bats, acting in unison, helping out them to defeat 1 and 7 death in Xibalba. Man, that's crazy. The imagination and creativity they had. Crazy.